Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Lad, and today I watched the first ever official trailer of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania at 0.2 Febix speed and found 21 new details that I'm pretty sure you haven't seen anywhere before. Now I do realize there are some videos on YouTube already with some incredible breakdowns, but I will do my best to give you details that are yet to be talked about. But first, I'd like to thank Sandbox for sponsoring today's video. To celebrate, I'll be following back 5 random people on Twitter, plus featuring one viewer's name and profile photo in a future video. Stay tuned to find out more. The Sandbox is the world's largest multiplayer game with over 300,000 players and over 200 brands directly in the game, including Snoop Dogg, Steve Aoki, The Walking Dead, FaZe Clan, and Tony Hawk. My favorite experience right now in the Sandbox is Snoop Dogg, because the Snoopverse is not just smoke and mirrors, but there is a lot of smoke. And who wouldn't want to live like Snoop for a day? There's also a ton of UGC content with some high quality games. You can build your own escape room, dungeon crawler, puzzle game, or even a whole new world. Sandbox Season 3 is happening right now, but there's only a few weeks left to enjoy amazing experiences, giveaways, daily challenges, and rewards. They're giving over 1.5 million sand to the community, with the top prize being 30,000 sand. So don't miss out on this rare opportunity and make sure you follow these steps. Step 1. Create an account and download the game for free using my link on your computer. You can still create an account on mobile using my link, but to play you'll need to download on desktop. Just sign in with Google, Facebook, or Twitter and you're good to go. No need for a crypto wallet to play, but if you have one you can connect it. Either way, the game is completely free to play. Step 2. Load into the alpha lobby and use the map on the website to TP to different experiences and start completing quests for points. So here's my challenge to you lads. Download the game using my link, get to level 2 in game by completing quests, and then when you're in the alpha lobby, find Snoop Dogg and take a screenshot with him. And then tag me, Snoop, and the Sandbox game on Twitter. In 1 month, I'll pick one winner to get their name and profile photo in an upcoming video. Plus, I'll pick 5 people at random to follow on Twitter. Thanks again to Sandbox for sponsoring today's video. Number 1. Scott Lang is now pretty popular in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Notice this guy is still looking at Scott even though he had already walked past him. And this guy in long hair also gets shocked to see Scott Lang in person. It gets much more evident when these two ladies wave at Scott while running. Now a nice parallel I noticed here is that the very first Ant-Man movie also had Scott walking in the pavement, but at the time of course he wasn't happy and nobody knew him. So Ant-Man 3 is probably gonna open with this scene. Number 2. Scott was fired from Baskin-Robbins for hiding his criminal record in Ant-Man 1.
I'm very happy in this job and I really just appreciate the opportunity to help
you're
support
fired, of course. I mean, can't really keep you on.
Wait, what?
But the same employer, aka Dell, is now awarding Scott as the employee of the century. But notice Scott's Baskin-Robbins uniform is still hanging on the wall. And I think it would be funny if Dell says, "Oh Scott, you're a superhero now, you saved us, you saved the multiverse, I want to reward you with the Employee of the Century award. But you are still fired though." You know that would be funny. And the reason I think Scott is still fired is because notice this framed photo here. The name tag says Jack, which was the false identity Scott had used to get hired here. So I would assume if he was called back after all the redemption act, they would have taken a new picture with the proper name tag. The fact that they didn't tells me that this is just a publicity stunt by Dale to lure more customers in. And that's why his uniform is hanging on the wall too. And I know the whole Jack thing is Paul Rudd's real life son's name, but for that I'd ask you to watch my Ant-Man 1 breakdown. Trust me, you'll love it. Number 3. Scott's suit is now a little bit upgraded from what he had in Avengers Endgame. Take a look at them side by side. His suit now has a place for a Pym particle right in his chest. I'm not sure if it's for a Pym particle or something else, but there is definitely something. It looks more like the arc reactor design for the Iron Man suit. Regardless, I think I love it. As long as they keep the suit simple and red, it works for me. Number 4. Hope now has a new haircut, which a lot of people are complaining about, but I want to tell you that this actually fits perfectly with the original Wasp in the comics. Even though it was Janet Van Dyne's, but Hope in the MCU has essentially taken the place of Wasp. Number 5. Scott and Hope are also attending a fancy gala event in the trailer. However, that doesn't look like it's related to their superhero career. The event is for a general science award, which means Hope is probably the one who got invited and Scott is her +1. Number 6. We learned that Cassie is a genius engineer capable of building new gadgets. And just like her family, she also is obsessed with the quantum realm. And notice before we see her putting on the suit later in the trailer, in this scene where she was showing off her work to the rest of the family, notice in the background is some sort of a scan of a spider, or it could be an ant. Either of the two. And Cassie in the comics does indeed fight alongside Spider-Man to defeat some Skrulls in Young Avengers Avengers Volume 1 Issue 12. This tiny detail in the background confirms that before she got sucked into the quantum realm, she was already researching insects. Number 7. When Cassie's quantum experiment goes wrong and everything explodes, notice there for a split second, we can actually see the stunt double for Paul Rudd. Number 8. After this explosion, suddenly this blue orb starts sucking everything inwards. And notice just before all of them enter into the quantum realm through this orb, they were all getting smaller in size. We see Hank Pym literally shrinking by the second. And notice how he leaves his own shadow behind, indicating how fast this whole shrinking effect is taking place. It is so fast that it almost seems as if someone is existing at two places at the same time. Same goes for Scott Lang. When he was getting sucked into the quantum realm, he had his own ripple effect. This is something we've seen in all the Ant-Man movies and of course in Avengers Endgame. And notice how Cassie couldn't hold onto Scott and got sucked into the orb. As a result, Scott, despite being strong enough, let go of his hand deliberately because he knew Cassie would need his help. This just shows the beautiful father-daughter relationship that they have, thanks to one of my viewers who caught this incredible easy-to-miss detail. Number 9. After crash landing inside the quantum realm, notice Scott Lang and Hope both had their suits back on, but Cassie, Janet Van Dyne, and Hank Pym didn't have any suit at the beginning, meaning Scott and Hope both got some huge suit upgrades, and they now almost always carry it with themselves. So when they got sucked into the quantum realm, they activated their suits on the way, or it got triggered automatically. Number 10. When Janet is guiding Hank and Hope inside the quantum realm, notice the characters inside the quantum realm. All of them have their hoods on, and they have some sort of a liquid chamber connected to their hoods. Perhaps something that is keeping these creatures alive. And interestingly, even this is colored blue. Well, almost blue. So this recurring color kinda indicates that the power source of the whole realm might be just one. Number 11. In this trailer, we probably got to see the first ever glimpse at Chronopolis in the MCU. It could also be the city briefly shown in Ant-Man and the Wasp that can be seen on many YouTube videos for the past 4 years. Now, Chronopolis in the comics is a multiversal city ruled by Kang the Conqueror. It is a city beyond time and the center of Kang's conquest. And I'm telling you lads, Avengers Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty might just take place over here. Number 12. Notice almost everything in Chronopolis has the same circle shape, which obviously is very similar to the 10 rings from Shang-Chi. They even have the similar side engravings to the rings. These engravings also resemble the bangle used to unlock Kamala Khan's power in Ms. Marvel. And in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi, Bruce Banner said this.
What is it?
A beacon.
We're sending a message.
A message to where?
So my theory is that the 10 rings, which aren't from any known planet, were probably sending a message to the quantum realm, aka Kang the Conqueror. Or Kang might be trying to get them back. So the 10 rings could actually be receiving a message from him instead. Most importantly, rings have been pretty significant in the entirety of Phase 4, especially in the final episode of Loki, where the final version of Kang the Conqueror, aka He Who Remains, wears a special bracelet or a ring on his left hand. He Who Remains literally could control the multiverse through this small piece of bracelet. So the fact that Kang's home city is also made of a similar design just goes to show that the 10 rings are bigger than what they seem. There's a reason why Wong didn't recognize where it came from, because Master of Mystic Arts don't have much knowledge about the quantum realm. So if you ask me to paint you a timeline, well, it looks something like this. Sylvie killed He Who Remains in Loki episode 6, that unleashed 1,000 different variants of himself, and the worst one being Kang the Conqueror. The 10 rings then sent a message to Kang's city, and I assume the bangles getting activated in Ms. Marvel might have also sent a message to Kang. And now we are here with Quantumania, which will kickstart Phase 5. Number 13. Notice Kang's whole army also wears a similar blue holographic helmet, not just Kang himself. Even the power source of all the ships resemble the blue orb that Cassie was experimenting with. Number 14. Kang's throne CGI design is one of the most amazing things Marvel has ever done. Let me explain why that is. Take a look at what happens anytime Kang appears on his throne or is about to go somewhere else. The rings lift up and surround Kang as a king's guard. And notice where the rings come from. They stay underneath his throne, and whenever he wills it, they come back on top again. Number 15. Notice in this same scene, Kang has a device connected to his throne. Now earlier we've seen Kang placing an orb into the same device that lights up as soon as the orb is placed into it. So perhaps Kang needs a device like this in order to activate this golden platform. Number 17. At one point, Scott Lang transforms into his giant version in the middle of Chronopolis, where all of Kang's army is aiming to shoot him. But notice if I zoom in, we can actually see the Wasp flapping her wings in this intense yellow glow. We do get a close-up shot of the two, but from this angle, this gives us a better perspective just how big Giant Man is. Speaking of which, what if this is just Ant-Man in his regular size, and the rest of the people are just shrinked in their atomic level, which has been the case in the past where everything inside the quantum realm is really small. So the fact that Giant Man is there, that may as well be Ant-Man in his regular size, but compared to his surroundings, he's coming across as way too big. Number 18. In the next scene, we see Janet standing alone looking at this weird creature. Notice she's also wearing a device on her left hand, and this scary looking creature does look very similar to what we've seen behind Cassie in her lab. Let me know what you lads think about this in the comments. I really want to know this. Number 19. In the next shot, we see Hope and Scott together, and the expressions on their face tells me that this could be from the final battle in the movie. But notice how Scott is wounded but Hope isn't, indicating Scott took all the damage while Hope was probably busy fighting something else. But the most important detail here are the cracks in reality. They do look similar to what we've seen in Spider-Man No Way Home, but it's not blue this time. And we know what happens when we start to see cracks in reality. It never ends well for the protagonist of the film. Number 20. Scott goes through torture in the form of illusion, just like Spider-Man did in Far From Home. Mysterio made Spider-Man see his worst fear become a reality through illusion, and I think Scott is going through a similar sort of torture here but by Kang, and he's being shown an illusion of multiple versions of himself, including this giant version that is literally being shattered to pieces. So Scott's nightmare will in fact come true in this film, and this also shows what he's up against. Kang is just way too powerful at this point. Number 21. When Kang walks up to Scott and talks to him one-on-one, we see Kang without his helmet. But notice when he was approaching Scott, we could see his helmet reflecting on the floor, indicating he took off his helmet before he started talking to Scott. And notice Kang the Conqueror has the scars on his face, which He Who Remains did not have, implying this version of Kang is a warrior. He goes on quests and conquers. And I absolutely love the idea of putting an artificial helmet over Jonathan Majors' face to make him blue instead of painting him blue. This way we get both Jonathan Majors the incredible actor and of course a comic accurate Kang the Conqueror. And that's it. This would be my breakdown of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer at 0.2 Febix speed. I hope I was able to give you lads a few new details that you didn't catch before. If I did, then please give me a thumbs up, grab the subscribe button and turn notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to get updates about my videos. Thank you lads for watching this video, and don't forget to download Sandbox with my link below to get a follow back from me on Twitter and the chance to have your name and profile pic featured in a future video. Till then, I'm Michael Scott and I'll see you lads in the next one.